Everybody and their grandmother is talking about ImmutableX, the IMX token, the platform, the fundamental platform for crypto gaming. And for good reason. At least for good reason if you believe the price development. IMX went up by 113% in the last month. Now this is not another crypto shilling channel. I'm not going to sell you IMX because I secretly bought it trying to dump on you. We are going to look at data. We're going to look at data that you have probably not yet seen. And we're trying to get an objective view of ImmutableX. This, by the way, is not the first video on IMX. I published one on September 21st when IMX was only at 70 cents. So that's over here on this chart. So if you want to be early next time, maybe you should be following channels like this. Let's look at the good, bad, and ugly of ImmutableX. And let's start with the ugly. What you're seeing behind me is a chart of the total value locked of IMX. So that shows how much capital is being locked up in the ImmutableX ecosystem. And at some point, this was over 200 million. Now it's at 38 million. So this did go down. And this didn't only go down in terms of US dollars. This went down even measured in Ethereum, and it's not picking up. So this is not just a consequence of the overall bear market. This went down even more than Ethereum in the capital locked in the ecosystem. Let's look at the next ugly. Let's look at the token unlocks. Whenever you buy a cryptocurrency, you have to look at the circulating supply. You have to look at the expansion of the circulating supply because supply and demand in the end determines the price. The more supply hits the market, the more the price can depress. If the supply doubles from today to tomorrow, you need to have that demand also doubling. Otherwise, the price crashes by 50%. So what's the minimum growth in demand we need for the IMX token in order for the price to at least be stable? How much does supply growth say in the next year? This is the token unlocks of IMX over time. And currently, there is 1.3 billion tokens floating. Now, 1 year from now, that number will be at 1.7 billion. So the supply will expand by 32% in the next 12 months. So the demand has to grow by at least 32% in the next year. If it doesn't grow as quickly, then IMX goes down. I told you, right? This is not a channel shilling and promoting coins. This is a channel that tries to look at things objectively. And now we are looking at the negative side. We are also going to look at the positive side. But I want to show you one more bad thing. This is the price chart that most people look at when they look at IMX. This is IMX measured in US dollars, and it did go up massively. Since the middle of October to today, we are up by 280%. This is the IMX price relative to Bitcoin. And yes, these are magical lines drawn on a chart. And yes, they don't have to mean anything. But sometimes those kinds of lines do align. If enough people look at a chart like this might become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If everybody thinks that IMX now is expensive relative to Bitcoin, then maybe not too many people buy and maybe some people take profit. This is IMX relative to Ethereum. So the IMX price divided by the Ethereum price. This broke out of this bearish trend, but one might argue that there is again quite a bit of resistance going forward, and that the potential downside is pretty big. Now then, why is the price going up that much? Of course, crypto gaming is being hyped a lot recently, and IMX stands pretty much in the center of that narrative. And so with that, we see a lot of attention. This is the number of Reddit subscribers to IMX, growing quite a bit. This is the number of Twitter followers, also going up pretty constantly. And there's a lot of attention on crypto YouTube as well. For example, here, we've got Jesse Eckel. Maybe you know him. Jesse Eckel made a dedicated video just on IMX. And I'm going to show you a short clip within that doesn't look too great. But there is a silver lining. I will show you information that's actually premium content. If you're not part of this channel's premium community, you don't know about this yet. So wait until after the clip and I will show you what I mean. Let's have a quick watch together first. This is talking about the treasury of IMX, of ImmutableX.
Now, the treasury, according to Token Terminal, is around 447 million. However, I couldn't find the treasury myself after extensive looking, and DeFi Llama doesn't show the treasury at all. When I went to look at how Token Terminal was sourcing this number, it said it was the USD value of the funds held on-chain by the protocol. I ended up having to go to Arkham to see if they happened to have tagged some of Immutable's addresses, and I did end up finding it, and I found a few other things as well. The treasury mentioned, I'm assuming, is the development treasury, which is actually around 532 million and made up of 500 million of their own token, as well as 18 million of the Gods token and 8 million of the GOG token. But they also have a locked treasury for the Immutable Foundation, which has another 500 million in IMX tokens, as well as that locked treasury has 53 million of the Gods token and 30 million of the GOG token. And on top of that, they have their foundation treasury, which has 858 million in IMX tokens, 33 million in Gods tokens, and 20 million in GOG tokens. In total, they have $1.8 billion of their own token, which is insane. That means of the 2.6 billion fully diluted valuation that we referenced earlier, 1.8 billion is held by Immutable in some form or another. And the other 800 million would make up the actual supply that people are able to trade on the open market. I was able to track down a chart showing how their tokens are allocated and could verify the same info on DeFi Llama. And it looks like 25% of the IMX is held on their balance sheet. They have 4% as a reserve in case of emergency, I'm guessing. And 50% is held for incentives and developer grants. So of the entire supply, just 19% is truly free floating, and the rest is either locked or simply held by the foundation and not being used.
First of all, props to Jesse Eckel. He really did his research here. Not a lot of YouTubers go that far to look at the actual wallets. Now, what did we just see though? I interpret this as very negative. A lot of the control of the token price is still in the hands of the ecosystem, as in the founders, the team, the insiders. I personally do not like that whatsoever. They might dump the token, maybe gradually, maybe not that fast, but they might be allocating very massively maybe to new developers. They might increase the circulating supply much faster than you want. Whatever the reason for that increase in circulating supply is, I don't really like that a treasury holds their own tokens. Do you remember FTX with the FTT token? This didn't play out too well, did it? Now, I promised you that I will show you data that's usually just available for the premium members. I do this to give a bit of an insight of what premium here is all about. I also do this again to give an objective view on things. Is Jesse Eckel, for example, buying the IMX token just before his video in order to then sell it massively to his following? The answer is no, at least kind of. Have a look at this. This is the Premium Influencer Alerts channel. It's a channel that sends automatic messages whenever any of our influencers that we track buy or sell something. So we don't just have Jesse Eckel in there. We also have Alex Becker. We have Elliot Trades. We add new influencers pretty much every week here. And here we've got the purchases of Jesse Eckel. The 6th of April, Jesse Eckel, potentially, we're not 100% sure about this wallet, bought $5,000 worth of IMX. On the 12th of November, though, we've got massive purchases. $50,000 over here, another $50,000 over here. So he bought $100,000 worth of IMX on November 12th. Now, this IMX video was published on the 4th of December. So that sounds like a red flag. But Jesse Eckel then on the next day bought more of IMX, another $100,000 worth of the coin that he then subsequently, by the way, sent to another wallet. I'm not sure if he owns that wallet or what's going on here. Further research is required. So what can we say here? We can say there is token unlocks. We can say there is momentum. We can say there are people that are really behind this project, promoting it on YouTube and also buying in there by themselves, both before a video but also after a video. So there's probably no real conflict of interest here. That being said, I don't like the confusion around the treasury when they're saying that they're holding stablecoins, but in the end they're holding their native token really. I don't like the relative valuation chart to Bitcoin. I don't dare though to make a prediction where this price is going because the altcoin season is just starting. Crypto gaming is really taking off and IMX is perfectly positioned here. I'm simply just presenting additional data that you have probably not yet been aware of that hopefully refines your decision-making process. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe because I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. And if you want to get those sweet alerts of what people buy before they publish it on YouTube or on Twitter, feel free to check out the premium membership. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com. Link is down below.